Edward James Olmos, who was on Channel 2. Okay, cool. He was on Channel 2 yesterday. He was on Arsenio last night. And he is one of the many voices who has a very powerful statement to make. And at his own risk is going, well, he'll tell you about it. And we're going to get him on the air in just a second.
Are we ready? Mr. Olmos.
Yes.
Thank you for calling the show. You've been a busy man the last couple of days.
Yep.
We saw you on Channel 2, and we saw you on Arsenio last night, and you had some really, truly moving and very powerful things to say. And we would like you, if you would, to take this opportunity to share that with our listeners and tell us about what you have planned for today.
Well, just today, basically, a person asked me last night what I was going to do today, and I just said I'm going to pick up a broom and start sweeping in the areas where needs to be swept and just clean up the streets a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
It's mainly the understanding that this is the attitude that needs to be looked at real quick and understood very, very quickly. If the entire city now turned out to start just around their own neighborhoods, just to pulling out brooms and being seen on the street with brooms rather than with looting and pulling out the images, will get to the children, and the children will stop.
Mr. Olmos, what does this say about a culture that has children of all colors, adults of all colors, going into stores with smiles on their faces, giggling, laughing, and taking what they can?
Well, you have to go back to what initiated the whole situation in the first place, and I'm not talking just about the Rodney King situation. I'm talking about the fact that the unemployment situation, the economic situation, the distance between the have and the have-nots has grown to an extraordinary amount. People could have, there's a lot of people who knew that this kind of a volatile situation was prevalent throughout the society as a whole, and you see it happening not only here. It happened in Las Vegas last night. It happened in San Francisco. It happened in Tampa.
All over the country.
It happened in Seattle. It happened in Wisconsin. It's happening in different parts, Philadelphia, and these things are taking hold because basically people, when they get to this point of frustration, they will take advantage of the situation and move into a negative mode. Now, that doesn't mean that the entire city or that this is just such a minute fraction, but it just seems like it's a large fraction because it's never been felt like this before.
Well, when you live in a large city, a small fraction can be thousands of people.
Yes. And there has been thousands of people. And there's been thousands of people arrested here in Los Angeles.
Last night on the Arsenio Hall show, you were on there with many other people, and Arsenio put it well when he started talking about the times in which we live economically. You've got these people over here who have been saving for 3 years to get a stereo system, and even though they're predominantly pretty good people, the temptation of being able just to go down and get that very same stereo system and just walk out with it is pretty strong.
Yes, it was. And it has been. And there's a lot of people who have taken advantage of that and have actually done that. Law-abiding citizens who have just felt that it was okay because of the behavior shown to them by the society as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it certainly opened a lot of eyes about the society.
Which is really what there is, upon understanding the negativeness that has been projected here today and in the last few days, and understanding that there is a tremendous, tremendous calling for awareness of the problems, not the behavioral problems that are being acted out, but what caused them.
Right.
And then that in itself will become a positive in respects of having to deal with the situation. We have an economical misbalance. We have a situation, lack of opportunities for different people here, that the work ethic is just non-existent in parts of our society. And it's not because they don't want to, it's because there just is no opportunities. And I think that the educational systems are devalued and have gotten to the point now where we would rather bail out the SNLs than to bail out the school systems in our community and in our country. And that's when it starts to hurt. And, when you have people that are in the politic that end up doing behavior that we ourselves as individuals could never do, because we'd be put into, we'd be either fined or put into jail for X amount of hours or days for the check situations that we've seen perpetrated by the Senate and the Congress of this country. You have people breaking the law that basically are supposed to be the people who are supposed to set the examples. That gives people that are on the economic low end the ability to turn around and say, listen, I've always wanted my stereo, I've always wanted this, everybody else is doing it, guess what, I'm going to go get myself my situation. And it opens it up, and that's what has happened. You're seeing acting out frustrations, and you cannot say to them, hey, you know what, you can't do this, because they'll look at you and say, excuse me,
yeah.
Didn't you see what's going on around you?
Right.
Well, the message that you convey, and that you're going to go out with a broom and begin the cleanup and whatnot, and hoping that a lot of people help out. There has been a great deal of community aid and assistance already.
Oh, yes.
Last night on one of the news channels, there was footage of one of the firemen who, it was probably his 100th fire. As he stood there holding one of these big hoses, he was fatigued and wobbling, and one of the pedestrians on the side walks over, puts his arm around him, and holds the hose for him. And so there is already a great feel of that is taking place, and
it's starting, and then that behavior has to be spread. That's a behavior, I think, right now that would be most beneficial for the city and the country, I'd like to see. And that's for the community to turn out and within their own communities. They don't have to go outside of it, just within their own communities, to start to do the thing that most would help society as a whole, and that's not to get in the way, but to start cleaning.
The economic problems that inspired the negativity that we saw yesterday, the actions yesterday, is far from being over. But how about the current situation of the violence, in your opinion?
In what respects are you speaking?
The looting and the fires.
I personally don't think that you're going to see very much of that today. Mm-hmm. I think that the presence of a stronger force of authority out on the streets will squelch all of that. The thing that is most important is to tend with the problems that got us to this point as a society as a whole. This has to be worth something. There are 31 people that are dead today, and the last 2 days, that is what has been the count in Los Angeles. Now, what is, if there's at all a time when we can use the negative into turning it into a positive, it is right now. And God willing, we will take advantage of that and not allow this to become just another situation that is just pushed aside and business as usual.
What can we ask our listeners to do?
Right now is to literally to start into the positive thought of cleaning up their neighborhoods and their areas, and helping others that may not be as fortunate as they themselves.
Well, Mr. Olmos, you have been going very strong since this took place. As far as media is concerned, you've shared a voice that many people have enjoyed hearing. So proceed with your plan, and we will continue to spread the word as far as our listeners are concerned. So very best of luck, and thank you for being there and being a spokesman for many of those who feel the same way.
Thank you so much.
All right, have a good day.
Same.
Okay, Edward James Olmos again calling up the program to share with us his thoughts and feelings concerning this, and he has exhaustedly been very prevalent on media and so forth, so we thank him.